Well, I grew up playing multiple sports. Like in high school in Montreal, I was playing hockey, football. I see my brother played 9 years in the NFL after. And then I went to prep school. My mom was a teacher too. So the school was as important, if not more important than the sport itself. So that's why I went down to prep school. I didn't know anything about prep school. French kid from Montreal. And there's an English school in Montreal that kept sending kids to New England prep. And they like multi-sport athletes. So actually, the football coach, after a game, they started knowing the family through my brother before me. They came to us and said, hey, they knew I was a good hockey player. I was a good football player. And they said, I think Matt could be a good profile for prep school. So I actually ended up going to Choate in Connecticut. And I played on the football team, the hockey team, and the golf team.
Oh, wow.
And I had, because it's 3 semesters, usually do a sport a semester.
Yeah.
And then I had a scholarship offer to UMass Lowell, the only team that gave me a scholarship. Our team wasn't very good, but I had a pretty good year at Choate. And then the football coach from McGill said, if you come here, I talked to the hockey coach, which was Martin Raymond with Guy Boucher as his assistant. They say, if you come here, we'll let you play 2 sports. And my brother was playing at McGill and only football. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go back. And I turned down a D1 scholarship because did I think I'd play pro? Yeah, like any kid from Canada, or like it was a dream, but you don't really think about it, right? So I went back to McGill. My first year, I actually had 1 assist in my hockey season.
Yeah,
I was the only freshman that played every single game in football. I had actually a better football season, but then I had 5 classes, like a full course load. Like in the winter, I remember I used to indoor football practice from 7 to 8:30, classes all day, then hockey practice at night. It was just too much. And after my first year, I was like, I didn't want to just be average in 2 sports. I wanted to. So I went to the football coach who was shocked because actually I got recruited for football. Even in Quebec, they have some Quebec bursary, Fondation de l'Athlète d'Excellence, that every sport in college. I got one for football, not even hockey.
Okay.
And then I decided to just play hockey. And then I went from 0 goal, 1 assist to 21 goals in 26 games. And Guy Boucher, I knew since I'm 13 years old. He went to school with my sister. And then he was the assistant coach. He worked with me after practice. And then my last year, I led the country in scoring. And Columbus came in the league. I had 4 offers with signing bonuses. And I was like, these guys are fools. I would have signed for, I would have gone on a tryout. But I actually didn't even take the biggest offer. I took Columbus. There was no cap on signing bonuses. So it was a bit more than today. And then I started my career, and I played 9 games my first year after playing Canadian college, and played the 9 years. And now I retired. Actually worked in the business world for 6 years. I still did some RDS pre-game, post-game shows in Montreal.
Yeah.
When you got a face for TV, you got to use it, right? But and then Julien became GM in Tampa, and Julien signed me in Montreal. That's how my relationship started with Julien BriseBois. Okay. He was the assistant GM in Montreal. So the reason I signed in Montreal, actually, because I only been call-ups, and then I spent a full year in Tampa with Torts in 07, 08. And then the next year I signed with Buffalo. That's the only team that never called me up. So I was the whole year in the minors. So when they gave the job to Guy Boucher in the minors, he's like, hey, he brought Martin Raymond and Daniel Lacroix with him. And he was telling Julien, I want a good vet. I know Matt, like, can you bring him? He'll be a good vet for us. We had PK Subban coming in and guys like that. So Julien signed me, and that's how, I was a good player in the AHL, obviously. And that's how our relationship started. But even then, after a few months, I ended up in Montreal. I finished 3 years in Montreal. And when Julien left for Tampa, actually, I'm the last contract he signed. It was my first one-way at 33 after my first year in Montreal. So he probably like, I'm giving this guy one way. I got to get out of here. So anyway, we stayed friendly. Like once a summer, we used to go to dinner with our wives, but we never talked about working together. But he knew I'd want to get back in hockey eventually. But I had opportunities. But I had a great job in Montreal with Delmar. My wife was working. Did a bit of TV. My kids were in high school, but then when Julien became GM, he called me and he goes, they were playing in Montreal. We talk once a month about what's going on in hockey. He likes to pick people's brain. Julien's like that. Like he calls people just to, he likes the way I was thinking. And then he said, why don't you come meet me for breakfast at the Ritz? So I kind of knew he wanted to talk about something like that. And he said, listen, I just became GM. I need someone to replace me. But I need someone with me in Tampa. So obviously the hesitation was actually I was taking a salary cut to go there. But then my wife at one point, and who's outstanding because she followed me, my wife has a master's. She has better grades than me at McGill. That's where we met. And she put her career on hold for me. And she had a job, but she's like, hey, you always said you wanted to be a GM. This is your chance. If you don't take this one, I'm just letting you know, I'm okay to go. The kids will be fine. They were 14 and 16. And I still hesitated, but she goes, if you don't take this one, I don't want to hear it anymore because this is your last chance, but it's the best chance you can have, really. Yeah. I came in right away first few years I didn't have the title of assistant GM, but I got it after a couple of years, and my job didn't change. It's just a title. So I came in fairly high in the hierarchy, I guess.
Yeah.
And Julien trusted me. I was kind of his guy too, and we went on to win 2 cups and the final in the first 3 years. I'm like, this job's easy. I'm like, come on. So that's a bit the background, and that's how my connection with Julien started. And again, he was a great mentor to me. He even through a few interviews I've done over the years, even this one with the Islanders, I did an interview, went to World Championship. They flew me back. Julien was at the World Championship, but every night before going to bed, he'd call me, all right, anything you want to talk about, and can I bounce things off of me? As I was going through the interview process, which he was outstanding. So obviously he's a good friend and a mentor. I still probably talk to him every week, and we text, I would say pretty much every day. So that's how my path was to where I am now.